So, my first near death experience happened when I was young. So young, I don't remember, but I think I was about 3 years old. And I was at my grandmother's house. And I just remember playing outside and coming inside happy. And I don't know if I had some kind of allergic reaction to something, or if I got bit or stung, or if I ate something. Like, I have no idea. All I know is the story that's been told to me by all of my family, and that is that my dad was in the military, and for whatever reason, they were taught CPR, but like not just like adult CPR, but child CPR. So he started CPR on me, and they were I stopped breathing. I stopped breathing. I lost consciousness, and they threw me in the car, and they were rushing me to the hospital. And on the way, my dad is trying to do CPR, and my grandmother's freaking out, and I remember all of a sudden my lungs just being full of air, and I think they put me out the window. Um, like driving down the road. That's it's what I remember. I guess it's what it felt like. Maybe they just had the windows rolled down and I was feeling the wind. But all of a sudden, you know, I I was okay. I was fine. And they never really knew why, it happened. It just happened. And um the next near death experience that I had was many, 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 many years later, when I was about 22, 23, and I was on a four wheeler, and I wasn't even going that fast, and I did have a helmet on, but I was going up the road, and there was a turn, and it's a road, so it wasn't like it was a particularly sharp turn, especially for a four wheeler, but something happened. Something happened where I couldn't turn the four wheeler until like it was too late, and I kept trying, but I couldn't, and I ended up hitting the embankment, or kind of sideswiping it, I guess, and all I remember, everything went dark. I remember hearing the sound of scraping, and that's where that came from. That was my head hitting the road and being like dragged, or thrown, like scraping the road. That was my head scraping the road. I was wearing this helmet. My mother kept it because it was a reminder of the miracle that I was still alive. And all I remember is everything went black. And I woke up on the side of the road. I stood up and I was on one side of the road. The four-wheeler was still on and it was standing like upright on the other side of the road, but it had some damage to it. And basically what happened was it flipped. The four-wheeler flipped and sent me flying across the road. And I got up with not even so much as a scratch on me. I went to the hospital. I didn't have a concussion. I didn't have a sprained ankle, a pulled muscle, not a scratch on me. It was an absolute miracle that I was really, I mean, maybe even alive. I could have broke my neck, let alone, to go through that entire thing and not, not get hurt at all. I had another near-death experience in 2020, part of my spiritual awakening. And I'll save that story for another day. But the reason that I tell you this is because it's not unusual for people who find themselves on the path of a spiritual journey to have had a near-death experience, or maybe even more than one. And for me, it was almost like I died and God spat me back out. Like death rejected me, said, "Oh no, you're not done yet. Get back in there. You still have work to do. We have a plan for you." And I think that's part of the protection that I still have to this day. I'm just more aware of it now. And I do believe that part of the reason is because I respect death. I have respect for the dead. I appreciate those who came before me, the sacrifices that they made, and the fact that I am the sum of all that came before me. As much as I respect life, they are both beautiful in their own way. They are both inevitable. They both teach you lessons. And I have respect and appreciation for both. Especially because I went through the experiences that I have.